Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, we put my Bomberman theory to the test. It's dangerous to go alone, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society goes with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I am joined, as I am always joined, by my co-host, Matt Acevedo. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to be talking about the news from the week, including a recap of some post-Super Mario Brothers movie news. And then on Thursday, Mark and I are ranking all of the items in Mario Kart. But Matt, in the meantime, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing so good. It's been a great weekend. Everyone's celebrating Mario. I've watched it twice already, and I'm just happy. I'm just a happy little guy, you know?
Yeah. It's a good time to be a happy little guy. Thank you so much for coming on and helping me get through the news here.
Of course. It's my pleasure, man.
We saw the Super Mario Brothers movie together.
We did, and in our theater, we saw it. And so when the moments the tickets went on sale,
Yes.
I bought like 20 tickets.
Right.
And I was like, Patrick, you gotta come.
You texted me and said you bought 16 tickets, which
Yeah.
I don't know why that number is so funny to me, but it's so funny, Matt.
I bought 16, and then my boss Zach bought 4 more.
Yeah.
So
Okay. There we go.
So we had a huge group, but we saw it in IMAX, and I kid you not, this crowd was so amped up. It was like the most amped up crowd since Avengers Endgame, in my opinion.
And I felt the same way, that like the crowd was at that same. You're just about. I saw Endgame at like an 8:00 showing Friday night at the Vista.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it was. I mean, like. The end of that movie, I feel like we were screaming. It felt like there was an earthquake in the theater.
It's true. And I feel like for this movie, every like cameo or like every little
everything.
thing that happened,
Huge
like,
pops for everything.
Huge bursts.
Yeah.
Huge bursts. So I thought it was really fun to see it with everyone.
That was fun to see it with everyone. I had seen it the night before.
Yeah.
Right after no spoilers here, of course.
Yeah.
But right after the the Donkey Kong business had concluded, I stepped out, went to the bar, grabbed a beer, sat out there for like 20 minutes, and then came back in, watched the end of the movie, and was like, "All right, there we go. I could take like a nice little break from this." It felt great. Matt, if people want to support this show, they can check out the Patreon. Mark and I have launched a Patreon, patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society. And if you are supporting us there at the 8-bit or 16-bit levels, you can hear the new show that we are working on called NCS Detective Club, where Mark and I are exploring the great TV detective shows of the past. We just put out an episode on Psych, so if that is of interest to you, go check it out there. We've done Murder, She Wrote. We've done Diagnosis Murder. We've done Monk.
Nice.
And we just put out one on Psych.
USA, those shows.
It's true. Well, they had such a hit with Monk that they were like, we need another Monk, and that's where Psych came from.
Exactly. Yeah.
They just went around searching for like who has a comedic sensibility that also wants to write a detective show.
Yeah.
And they found Steve Franks, and the rest is history. But so check that out if you're interested in supporting us. Thank you to everyone who does, and thank you to everyone who also just listens to the show. Even if you're not supporting us over on the Patreon, you are still supporting us in spirit.
Yeah.
Matt, is there something you would like to plug?
Yeah, so you guys check out Mass Effect Adventum. If you're a Mass Effect fan, I have a tabletop RPG podcast set in the Mass Effect universe after Mass Effect 2. It's its own story, you know. It's just like things that happen after Mass Effect 2 like may influence it, but it is its own thing. We've had guests like Mark Mir on, who's the voice of Commander Shepard, and like Joe and Shire from Smosh and stuff. So check it out. That's it's called Adventum now. Just Adventum.
Oh, we lost the Mass Effect part.
Yeah, because we started to grow, and we're like, we should probably just drop.
You don't want to get sued.
Yeah, well, BioWare likes us, so.
Oh, well,
like,
that's good.
But we had to like, all right, we got to start. They're noticing us.
Right. Shout out the rest of that main cast.
Oh, yeah, we got Emily Rose Jacobson. We got Naeem Stewart. We got Tanea Rivers. We got Kelly Nugent. Kelly Nugent.
Several friends of the show on Adventum. So go check it out.
Go check it out. It's a really good time. So.
And then if you want to hang out in the Nintendo Cartridge Society Discord, you should. We're talking about the Mario movie pretty much nonstop in there right now. But you should email us at Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. Thank you, Matt. Yeah. And we will send you an invite, and you can be in there having a great time talking Nintendo with some fun, funny, interesting, and interested people. All right, Matt, let's get into what we've been playing this week. Okay, first I have to start with my Tetris 99 ticket update. Dun 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 dun. I have 708 tickets, which is only an increase of 4 tickets from last week. So I've done a bad job on this.
Yeah.
So the task is, Matt, just to bring you up to speed and bring everyone up to speed. It's been a while since we've recapped. There is an achievement that you get within Tetris 99 for having 999 tickets. Not for earning them over the course of whatever, but actually having them in your bank. And you have the opportunity to earn 4 tickets per day.
Oh, wow. That's a process.
So it is a process, and it is long, and it is ongoing. And I set a goal for myself of finishing this by the end of the summer.
I believe in you. You're on track. I think you're on track.
I don't. The thing is, I was on track back when I was doing like my goal was 20 tickets a week, right?
Yeah.
Which means 5 days of getting all 4 tickets, or somewhere in that range. But I only did 1 day of this last week. It's not looking good, Matt.
Oh man, you fell. Oh, you hit a wall.
I hit a wall.
I forgot how you get tickets. Does it just get under?
It's different every day. There's always 2 challenges in like regular Tetris 99, like the whatever it's called, the where you're up against 98 other players, and then there's one in marathon mode and one in like versus CPU mode, and it'll be something like, get this many back-to-backs, or get this many double line clears, or this many T-spins. And usually if it's a T-spin, I'm like, well, I'm just not going to be able to get that one.
I see potential in you.
I see.
If you need a trainer, I'm going to come here, knock on your door, 4:30 a.m. It's like, it's time to train, Patrick.
Patrick, get in there. Get in there, play Tetris. The thing is, I don't need to be better at Tetris to do it. I just need to play it more.
Yeah.
I'm already good enough at it. Anyway, it's the update is I'm doing poorly. So last week I got mad at Mark when he didn't get mad enough at me for not making a lot of progress. So thank you.
Yeah. Look, you're meant for greatness.
There we go.
You're meant for greatness, and the only thing that's going to stop your greatness is yourself.
Yes.
So get out there and play some Tetris 99. Yeah.
What have you been playing, Matt?
Oh, dude, I've been my catalog got really big, but right now I'm still in the middle. I'm like committed to Persona 3 portable right now. I finished 4 in January.
Wow.
Like right in time for the release of the 4 and Golden and 3.
Right. So wait, you finished 5 just in time for the release of 4?
No, I actually bought 4 Golden in the I bought a PlayStation Vita.
Got it. Yeah.
Because the pandemic, I was like, we were getting like money.
We all did some weird things, man.
I was like, I'm gonna buy a Vita, so I bought a Vita with Persona 4 Golden, and I just beat it. But then Persona 3 Portable came out, and I'm about halfway through it. It goes, I think, until like March in terms of like calendar, like And I'm in late August, so I'm getting there. And overall, I'm really enjoying it. I will say it makes sense. It's not a critique. It definitely moved the needle forward, but it's kind of hard to go backwards. Like 5 and 4 are pretty close together. They're pretty like, if you like 5, you're gonna like 4. 3 was like the beginning. It's more of like a visual novel element to it with dungeon crawling.
Right, and that's the presentation of the portable version, right? That the original version of 3 actually has like more moving around in space. Yeah.
Which I think there's a charm to it though. I actually really like the. I think it's really cool. I think we're missing some of these cutscenes that are like really cool that I see in like the regular version, but. It gets the point across, and I'm having a really good time. The story's a lot darker than the other ones.
Oh.
It's you literally activate your persona by like pointing a gun to your head and
and pulling the trigger. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's right. I've read about this.
Yeah, it's you're like high schoolers and you're like, this is fine,
What's so funny is like as a high schooler, I would have thought that was like funny and cool and like dark and fun, and now as an adult, I'm like, I don't,
Yeah, exactly. But the story's really great. I think my only issue, it's not really an issue. Like I said, it moved the needle forward to get Persona 4 and 5. I don't feel like the core group is as like cohesive together as the 4 and 5 do. And 4 and 5, I felt like you were doing everything together. Like it felt like I know the rapport between everyone. You get that, but you don't feel as tight as the 4 and 5, which like I said makes sense because it came out before.
Still learning.
Yeah, we're still learning, but it's definitely like that's something I really loved about 4 and 5. It's like almost there, but yeah. I'm also doing the female route.
Fun.
Yeah, because it's the first time you can do a female route in
Persona.
Persona.
Like the only time, right?
Yeah, and it's only in portable. And there's a rumor that Persona 3 is getting like a remaster, like a Persona 4 Golden or Royal, Persona 5 Royal. But so in that case, I'll do the boy route. But the female route's really cool. It's interesting. You get different you can schmooze the guys, and then like the relationships are different. There's more dialogue and stuff like that. It's really cool. Yeah, so I'm enjoying that. And then I'm playing MLB The Show 23, and that's been a huge time sunk. Yeah.
Are you playing that on Switch?
Switch and PlayStation 5.
Whoa.
They have crossplay, so like
wow.
Yeah, so if like you're this year, if you're on the same network, it'll just transfer, which is really cool.
Whoa, so even like your progression too?
Yeah.
That's
the only
great.
thing that you need to transfer physically is your like you can make your own character and like go on like your road to the show. It's like minors to majors, right? And that's the only one you have to like actually upload it to the cloud and then download it. But like just like your regular progress of everything else, it just downloads. It's crazy. Like
that's incredible.
My points transfer and everything. It's really good. 22. Look, if you're like, I don't know if you guys talk baseball much. I don't think you talk.
We don't talk baseball much. I bought like again also like during the pandemic, I bought Sarah one of the MLB The Show games.
Yeah,
maybe like 2020.
Yeah,
on PlayStation 4.
That one had Fernando Tatis Jr. on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matt, I will have to take your word for it. And we mess around with it for like a little while, but it is as someone coming into that like fresh, it felt overwhelming to me that at the beginning it was like, okay, so here's pitching. There are 3 different ways you can control like the pitching, and being like, oh my god, which one is right? Which one should I do?
Yeah, and that still carries through.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So it's like there's definitely a learning curve, man. But once you like figure out what works for you, I find it. I think this is like the best it's ever been.
Oh yeah.
Last year like it wasn't like quite polished, but this year it felt like really locked in. And I gotta talk about this. I know I want to bore everyone with baseball talk. Every time I talk about baseball on Twitter, I lose like 5 followers. So, so I've got to get this out there. So
that's what's about to happen with me and the Super Mario Brothers movie.
I'm so sorry. Welcome to the club. But my favorite part about this game is that they have a new storylines element. There's a storylines feature, and it follows the Negro Leagues, which is the Black American League. That was I'm blanking on the person who started it. Basically, one of the black baseball players started it because they weren't allowed to play in the majors. Like, I'll just start my own league. And you go through each. There's like 10 players, and the president of the Negro League Museum is actually doing giving talking about each, going in depth documentary
context on everyone. That's
so
cool.
And then you play key moments of like their careers, and like it's really educational and well handled and respectful. And I've learned so much about like Satchel Paige, who's an amazing pitcher, and like Jackie. I didn't know
That's
Jackie Robinson.
Cool.
Like baseball wasn't even like his best sport. His best sport was like basketball. But he was he's able to break through because he came from California and had he went to UCLA, and he was. But it's crazy. It's like. It's a really, really cool feature that I think is the future of sports games in general. No other sports game, I think, has done this. Like, I've never seen it before. And I just find it really powerful stuff. Like, it's really cool.
That's so and we will be talking about another. It's weird because I was about to say that we will later in the show be talking about like a collection of games and how it does like a nice job of curating that like collection experience. But this feels similar to me, where there's like an educational component where it's like there's history here. In addition to being this game, there's also a history.
Yeah.
And like finding an active and interactive way to present that history is just the coolest. Like I think about Atari 50 from last year.
Yeah.
or the game that I'm referring to is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection does a really nice job of packaging and presenting those games as not just like historical curiosities, but also like here's the context behind it, here's why you should care about it, here's how you can care about it.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so I'm obsessed. I think it's really good. So that's what I'm playing.
I continue to make my way through Metroid Prime Remaster, which I understand that you are as well.
Yes, I'm about 2 hours in.
Very good.
And I'm obsessed. It's so good.
Did you have Prime experience before this?
That's the thing. I never have. I growing up, I had a GameCube later my cousin had the GameCube and he never had Prime. And I got a GameCube personally like later, but I only got like 3 games for it. So I didn't get Prime. So this is new to me, which is
brand new to Matt.
Yeah, which is like I'm so fortunate because it's so good and polished, and it's a perfect game, dude.
Yeah, I think you're right. I know that the later you get in the game, when you have to like loop back around and get all the Chozo artifacts, that it becomes a little like collecty and a little like a little obtuse. But I'm still running around back and forth between the like the main Talon overworld and the Fendrana drifts, the snowy area.
Yeah.
I recently got the space jump, so I'm double jumping all over the place.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it feels so good to double jump, both in terms of like it's fun to get around that way, but just like you're able to access so many more areas.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of a thing that when I first played Metroid Prime, I played it obviously the GameCube version on Wii, like right after the Wii came out.
Yeah.
And this is when I was a hall director at the college I just graduated from, and I just had like people in my apartment all the time. Just people are always hanging out.
Yeah.
And like our recurring joke about that game was like, oh, we just got this item, the whole world's gonna open up. It's gonna open up the whole world. And I'd forgotten about this. This is a memory that lay dormant for like 15 years. And then I got the space jump and I was like, oh, sincerely thought to myself, oh, this is really gonna open everything up. And I was like, oh my god.
You just had a brain blast, dude.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It just hit me like poof.
Oh my god, like Mama Coco and
that's
Coco,
right.
Yeah.
Remember me.
But yeah, dude, I think it's like I'm really stoked. It's been such a blast, and I'm gonna probably play I'm going to like Vegas for work in the next week, so I'm probably just gonna like power through that. It's not like a long game too. It's like I hear it's like like a decent like
it's like a 10-12 hour kind of experience. Yeah,
that sounds so refreshing.
I know, right?
I've been doing too many JRPGs.
You don't have to play all those JRPGs, Matt,
but they're so comforting.
Speaking of games that are comforting and will never end, I'm playing a lot of Pikmin Bloom, which just means I'm going for a lot of walks.
Oh, are you coming back to it, or is this your first time?
So I have been, and people in the in the Discord are included in this too, because we're a lot of us are buddies within the Pikmin Bloom app. But yeah, the last like 4 weeks or so, I've been doing Pikmin Bloom and taking my little Pikmin for walks and sending them out for battles against mushrooms and stuff. And the game is great. It's such a for me, there's like a little bit too much like gameplay in a Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Or like a little bit too much of a like you have to know what your Pokemon are to care about them. I don't care about my individual Pikmin in Pikmin Bloom. I just like amassing more of them.
Do you still name them? Do you still individually name them?
No. No, I do not. Now it's just like I got you by the pizzeria, I got you by the library, I got you by the movie theater. And every now and then, like one of them will have a slice of pizza that like runs through its head, and you're like, yes,
nice.
But so yeah, I'm loving it, and I love whenever I get into challenges with the our buddies in the Discord. So it's there was one that we did last week that was something like 10,000 steps, or it was not 10,000, it was 100,000 steps. And there were 5 of us in the group, and we were like, do we think we can do this? Like, yeah, it's not that many, like it's a lot, but and then we crushed it on like the 3rd day or the 2nd day or something. Feels great, and it feels great to be playing it with like other people who are also like committed to it and having fun with it. I really like that you can join like mushroom battles that are already in progress, So those are all at like key points in your neighborhood
right on.
or wherever you are playing the game. And then I'm seeing some of the same people who I don't know in real life, I don't know on Discord, whatever, who are like attacking these things over and over again, and I'm helping them over and over again. So I have this like relationship with these people that like I'll never contact, I'll never know,
Yeah.
I'll never be able to communicate, but we just like every couple days go down to Vince's Deli and like fight the mushrooms over there together. It's just great.
Dude, that's amazing.
It feels really good. I love Pikmin Bloom. I feel like it's building my hype for Pikmin 4.
Yeah. I mean, you're already convincing me to come back to it because I played it like when it launched for a long. I went because I was in New York for like a week. I'm like, oh man, look at all these.
Oh yeah, perfect.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I just stopped. I don't remember the mushroom battles. I think was that new? Is that like a new thing?
Oh.
But I gotta get.
It doesn't happen right away. It's like level 15 or something where
Yeah.
mushrooms start appearing and you can send your Pikmin out to fight them.
Oh man, you're getting me back into this.
It's fun and we can be friends and work on challenges together.
All right,
I can send you postcards. That's another.
That's what I do like. I love the postcards.
Sending postcards is rad because
Yeah.
also then again because we've got this Discord and people are listening all around the country and all around the world that like I'm getting postcards from like cool places.
Right.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's nice, dude. Like,
Yeah.
and it's when you receive one, it feels like you're actually getting a letter in the mail because you
Yes.
choose who to send that to.
Yes.
You know, it's like I made a choice to send this to Patrick.
That's
you
right.
know, like it's like, oh, he'll like this. Like that's really cool.
And it's better because when you get a postcard in real life, you got to be like, okay, how long do I have to
Hold on
keep
to
this out before I can throw it away? How long do you hang on to a card? Like a birthday card. Someone sends you a birthday card. How long do you hang on to it?
Honestly,
Have you ever done the directly into the trash?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have. And like, there's a part of me that feels bad about it, but I'm like, they know it's going to the trash, right?
Yeah, it's gonna go there eventually.
For like, I think all the way up to like college, I was saving them in like a shoebox. And then I realized in college, I'm like, what am I gonna do with these? Like,
it's the worst shoebox. It's worse than the shoebox that has your like old movie stubs in it, ticket stubs.
You have that too?
I did for a while.
I still have mine, dude. I still have mine.
I actually just found a ticket stub for again from the Vista our screening of Black Panther.
Whoa.
Which the ticket is abbreviated as such, so it just says Black Pant.
That's awesome.
All right. That's what we've been playing this week. Let's get into the new releases and what we might be playing next week. On Tuesday, April 11th, Tron Identity comes out on Switch and other platforms. Any interest in the Tron series, Matt? Where are you on Tron?
I like them, but like the game was never good.
No, and this is a like a narrative adventure.
Yeah, and
game.
then you like fight with your light disc, right? It's like
Do you even get to fight with light discs?
I thought you did. I thought it looked like combat was like you're slashing people with your light disc.
Oh, interesting. My lasting impression from the trailers was that it was like a story and lore focused game in the Tron universe.
Yeah.
Which not what I go to Tron for.
No, I don't want this to be like I don't want Tron to become Kingdom Hearts, where I need to play the mobile game and the 3DS game,
that's right.
the PS Vita game. I just want to watch Tron, dude.
There was totally a Tron world in one of the Kingdom Hearts games, right?
Oh, there was. There absolutely was.
And then on Wednesday, April 12th, coming to the Nintendo Switch Online, Nintendo 64, Pokemon Stadium.
Hell yeah.
You a Stadium man?
I mean, I did as a kid. I probably won't play it now, though.
I probably won't play it now. I'll check out some of those mini games because I know
the mini games are great.
Mini games are fun.
That Lick It Tongue mini game is awesome.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then isn't there like I'm picturing like a Clefairy.
There is a Clefairy game. It's like fairy, 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 fairy. It's like Shy Guy Says, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's probably like that.
Yeah, but it was like Simon, I think. Where it was more of like you remember the sequence.
That's right, of like up, left, down, up.
Yeah. Oh, man, those mini games were really great.
So we're gonna check that out.
Yeah.
It still bums me out that there's no conceivable integration with a version of Blue and Red to import your own Pokemon to it.
That was a speculation, right? That we're gonna have that.
Yeah. But the reveal trailer like explicitly says on it like you are not able to import Pokemon from like they got out ahead of it, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
But you know what I'd appreciate more?
being able to import Red
They
and
found
Blue
a way to
Pokemon.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Release Red and Blue on
Yeah.
the Game Boy on the Switch at the same time.
Yeah.
Figure it out, Nintendo.
I will say that the being able to see your Pokemon from Red and Blue was like the big selling point as a kid.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could see them in 3D.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? In 64, like,
Yeah.
polygon or
Bits.
Thank you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was a big selling point for me.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I mean, maybe. Like, I wonder if kids. That's right. I'm about to say kids today. I wonder if kids today even understand that, like, there was a time when you couldn't see Pokemon in 3D, in 3D graphics. Do you know what I mean?
Dude, that's kind of crazy. It's a little existential of us.
It's
like, but it's like you're right. There's kids that don't even know that.
They don't even know.
Yeah.
For me, for the longest time, my Pokemon were a single black and white sprite on a Game Boy.
And I loved them.
I loved them.
Yeah.
They were my favorite.
Yeah. I named mine after Pokemon or Digimon characters. So I named like the Digidestin though. It wasn't that dirty, I was like, this is Agumon. I was like, oh, this is Tai. This is Mimi. This is Sora.
And then on Thursday, April 13th, I highlighted 2 games coming out. The Arcade Archives game is Dig Dug 2, which is kind of cool. And then, of course, Hello Kitty and Friends Happiness Parade comes out on Switch. We've been paying attention, of course, to Hello Kitty Cruisers, a Hello Kitty karting game, because Hello Kitty Cruisers is a fun thing to say.
Yeah, Hello Kitty Cruisers.
Right?
That's lovely. Is this a party game?
I have no idea.
Oh, sweet.
Happiness Parade. So, and then maybe the big release of the week on April 14th. That's Friday. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collections Volume 1 and 2 are coming to the Switch. Battle Network, not ever a series that I was able to get into, and sort of by the time they were coming around, I'd kind of moved on to other things. But like, I love the Mega Man games, the classics, and like the X series. And I know these are more of like a turn-based sort of like turn-based and grid-based battle system.
Yeah, it's like a grid. It's like a ARP. I would say it was more action RPG because you're like moving around in real time, but it reminds me of that Chain of Memories game a little bit, where it's like
is this a Kingdom Hearts thing?
This is another Kingdom Hearts thing. Yeah, but this is what I'm really looking forward to. But I'm also overwhelmed by it because it's like they're long. They're JRPGs and they're so long.
Making this choice again, Matt.
Yeah, but I'm gonna play it, I probably will retire it though, but I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, very cool. Are you gonna get both collections, or are you just gonna?
Yeah, because I think the eShop closing has kind of like created a monster out of me because I'm like for archival purposes, I need to purchase these because I might not be able to ever again.
But I mean, you can rest assured here that they are on other platforms as well. So
that's true. But
for now.
Exactly.
All right, let's get out of the new releases. Oh, that's a classic music mess up. Let's get out of the new releases. That one's for you, Dan. Okay, let's brings us to a regular segment on our show. It is time for 433. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433, wherein a performer or group of performers didn't play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of this show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo. So for the duration of one performance, 433, Matt and I will talk about something not at all Nintendo related, thus fulfilling the contract of the piece. We're going to talk about everything that was announced at Star Wars Celebration this last weekend.
Yeah.
I had asked you before we started recording what your relationship to Star Wars is right now. How are you feeling about Star Wars generally?
I'm still like consuming it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm like super excited anymore, but I'm still enjoying it. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. I feel like this is where I was with Marvel like 2 years ago, where I'm like, okay, like, yeah, every now and then there's still something I really like.
Yeah.
It's not where I am with Marvel at the moment.
No, I'm pretty far gone with Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say no to a new Guardians movie, but
I mean, it's James Gunn's farewell. That one's going to be great.
I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I at any time I'm ready for the scales to tip and for me to be like, Star Wars is great again.
Yeah, and I something that's been doing a really good job for that for me has been the I really, really love Jedi Fallen Order. I thought that game was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And seeing they dropped a new trailer for the sequel,
Jedi Survivor,
which looks insane, dude.
And we can talk about this because it will not be on a Nintendo platform.
That's right.
So it fits the rule of 433.
Yeah.
Not breaking any rules.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a Dark Souls light. Like it's that kind of difficult, but it's achievable. You know.
Yes.
It's really rewarding.
That's what I liked about it.
Yeah, me too. And like that final fight in the last game.
Oh, so hard.
It was really hard.
I loved it, though.
And then, like, who shows up at the end, I'm like, oh, my God, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Just whoever it is, you know.
Yeah, whoever it is.
Dark Lord of the Sith, I don't know.
But, yeah, that one got me stoked. I think I liked Rebels a lot, too. Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah, so excited about the Ahsoka show.
Yeah, I think that's going to be great.
Me too. And it's amazing how, like, just getting a little flash of, like, Chopper, just seeing a little bit of Hera, I'm like, absolutely, I love this. I'm totally on board for. And look, is that show going to be cut from the same old like Dave Filoni cloth? And like, might it be bad? Like,
probably.
Yeah, probably. It's probably going to be bad.
Like, could this have been a movie? Like, I that's not like my thing with the series lately. Is like this would have been like way better as a movie.
Yeah.
Which I as someone who works in production, look. TV is job security, so I appreciate that.
Sure.
But for the purpose of the story, it would have been better as a movie.
Yeah. Let's talk about the three new movies that were announced at Star Wars Celebration.
Oh yeah.
So first of all, Dave Filoni, speaking of him, is going to be directing a movie that will tie up all of the live action Disney Plus shows.
Yep.
Which is sort of a frustrating proposition of like 7 years from now, he'll be able to make a movie that like ties up all these TV shows.
Right.
For whatever reason, just like seeing that roadmap ahead of me, I'm like,
it seems like homework, dude. It doesn't seem fun anymore.
It does feel like homework.
Yeah.
But so there's that one, and then next, Daisy Ridley will be returning in a movie that takes place after the Rise of Skywalker, and is directed by. Shoot, the article I have up here does not have the director on that. But post Rise of Skywalker, Daisy Ridley, sequel characters, how you feeling about that?
Sure. I don't know. I'm just not excited about it.
Yeah, you can say what you feel, man. It's
Oh.
okay.
No.
Yo, we got
We'll
cut
never
off.
know.
Oh no! All right. We were accompanied today, of course, by the EBU Your Radio Orchestra. All right, Matt, let's get into the news. That's like when Mark and I try to rank something in 433, and we don't even get through listing all of them.
Yeah, that's great. Classic 433. Rowdy crowd too.
Bad Batch Season 3. I'm excited about that.
Oh yeah.
The news. Okay, Matt, so I started here by just like cobbling together a couple articles, interviews and stuff around the release of the Mario movie. I don't really know that I want us to drown in Mario movie content today, but I just wanted to shout out the Variety interview with Chris Meledandri and Miyamoto, which has just like interesting little tidbits from both of them, and like paints Miyamoto as this like accommodating interview subject who is also like, or his translator at any rate, is like, he can't answer any of your fun questions, like any of your questions about like who's his favorite Koopa kid, what's his favorite Mario game, what's the most overrated power up. Like, he can't do that because anything he says has like too much sway over Nintendo fans and people who work at Nintendo.
That's smart.
So like he can't and he won't answer your fun questions. Ask him about the movie. Yeah. Which is so intriguing and so compelling. I just find that so interesting.
I find that interesting too. Yeah, because when Nintendo's whole, I mean, they're a gaming company, so their whole model is about fun. So like, I love that. That's like the mod, like that's what they're going to be. What's supposed to be news, like drop worthy. You know?
Yeah, exactly. That like he doesn't want to do anything that affects what could be fun to someone about the game. Perhaps relatedly, in an interview with IGN, he says that we shouldn't trust Dr. Mario.
He does say that. I remember that.
As a doctor, which I've been saying for years. I'm saying he's overprescribing pills.
Yep.
And he should be in check.
He's out of control.
So anyway, I don't know. There's a bunch of Mario movie stuff out there, and so I'll just direct people to. I mean, especially check out that Variety article. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I will include a link to it in the show notes. But on to more structured news now, Matt. The Super Mario Brothers movie is performing at the box office. Opening weekend, the 5-day opening weekend, a huge total. 204.6 million domestic and 377.2 million worldwide. That means that the Super Mario Brothers movie has the third highest Easter weekend gross of all time, behind Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice in 2016.
Oh wow, yeah.
And Furious 7 in 2015. Which had Batman vs. Superman had 181 million. So it just crazy, huge success here.
Yeah.
38% of the domestic box office was in IMAX, PLF, motion seats, or on 3D screens.
We were part of that.
Yeah, we were part of that. And in IMAX, this is the highest opening of all time for an animated film.
For IMAX?
For IMAX specifically.
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, 16.6 million on 403 screens. Also, this is just a side note. I'm just digging into how all these like numbers are reported, and IMAX has a category that is quote animated films, sports movie, and local language release. And so that's the category that the Super Mario Brothers movie had the highest opening weekend in. This also beats the giant opening weekends for Incredibles 2 and Frozen 2, both of which went on to be to gross over $1 billion each and become the 21st and 13th, respectively, highest-grossing movies of all time. And accepting the Lion King, like live action Lion King,
yeah,
which gets counted among the highest-grossing animated movies of all time for whatever reason. Yeah,
that's weird. That movie sucked.
And like, yeah, I guess it is animated, but then like, why are we calling it live action?
Yeah, it's I don't like that at all, man.
The language is failing us here, Matt.
It is. That's exactly right.
But so toss that out. It's on pace to be the highest grossing animated film of all time.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Like Mario is universal though.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mario is everywhere, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. It makes sense to me.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting? I mean, you say Mario is universal, which I know is both what you meant and a fun pun. Because you know, we when we saw it in IMAX, we saw it at Universal City Walk.
Yeah.
And obviously, they have Super Nintendo Land that just opened. So walking out of that movie theater was a mix of people coming from the park, a mix of people coming from the movie, and so there were just like. There's Mario stuff everywhere. Like people are dressed up as Mario characters. They're carrying their Mario swag around. And it's just like, if you had told like 8-year-old me that this is what we were going to get to a world where like everyone was embracing Mario, I wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah. And I mean, I think part of it too is like, you know, Mario came out when we were kids, right? It started in the 80s, right? We're adults now. But so like, it transcends time, I think.
Yeah.
Like, because from now on, there's only gonna be Mario fans. Like when we get older and become like grandparents, we're still gonna be Mario fans.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like it's I went to Universal Studios with Katie. We went to Mario Land, and it was like for a preview or whatever. So it was like calm and nice. But we were out there, and I was like having Katie take pictures of everything, and she's like, "Look at all of these like adult men having their girlfriends or a significant other taking pictures of them." I'm like, yeah. But it's just I'm just saying that like it's as we get older, there's like just gonna be more and more Mario fans. Like,
yeah. Well, that's the one place where I sort of had like the question mark of like, I'm sure kids are playing, you know, Mario Kart and whatever, but like, is Mario something that resonates with kids? You know, like,
yeah.
Or did they grow up on, you know, like Minecraft and Five Nights at Freddy's and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
So that like Mario isn't something that does resonate with them. And both times I saw the movie this weekend, there were kids in the audience that were super excited about everything that happened in the movie. And, you know, just anecdotally, people on our Discord, other people I know who have kids who took them to this movie, the kids love the movie.
Yeah.
So, like, I think I think you're right that all these 30 and 40-year-olds loving getting their picture taken with a woman in a peach costume is that's the one end of it, and then the other end is equally healthy, the kids who are excited about it, growing up with it.
It's amazing. He's like Mickey Mouse.
He's totally
Mario
like
is
Mickey
totally.
Mouse.
I think
Yeah.
he's on the same levels as Mickey Mouse.
We got a quote here from Jim Orr, the chief of Universal Domestic Distribution. He says, quote, "The incredible partnership of Nintendo and Shigeru Miyamoto's iconic characters with Illumination and Chris Meledandri's unbeatable filmmaking and storytelling prowess has led to this combustible moment at the worldwide box office. Audiences of all ages and backgrounds have flocked to theaters to revel in this extraordinary big screen celebration." What a prepared statement.
Yeah, it sounds like a CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Very, very hype stuff. Speaking of the Super Mario Brothers movie, the film's score appeared on music streaming services over the weekend, or on Friday, and it contains a couple surprises, including the score for the scenes that end up being
replaced
with pop music, licensed pop music.
Yeah.
Notably, the maybe the two biggest eye rolls for me in the theater, the Holding Out for a Hero training montage and the Take on Me section of the Kong Village, both have just like these beautiful like orchestrated pieces of music.
Yeah.
That the scene was obviously originally set to.
Yeah.
And man, I'd like to play a little bit of the Driving Me Bananas track, which is from the karting sequence at the beginning of the Kong City, because it's really good. And so yeah, grooving on it a little bit, like he's
like hop in.
Yeah, that's right. Obviously set in like the real Donkey Kong groove. Quotes like the Mario theme from the movie. Or the Mario movie theme. That leads into the Donkey Kong theme. Isn't that incredible?
Are you serious?
So
you're gonna put Jungle James in here and hold out on us?
So it's Jungle James, and then it kicks into the main DK theme.
Oh my god. Oh my god! This is way better.
It's so good.
What were they thinking?
I don't know. It's mind-boggling. There's like 20 seconds left here, so I'm gonna let the whole track play out because it's just so. So this is the moment where and then the glider pops open. It's so cool. I'm mad about it.
I would have probably teared up if that played in the theater, dude.
It's unreal. And like I have my criticisms of the score. I think a lot of times it is quoting game music in a way that doesn't feel totally appropriate to how you would score a film.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this music is fun music. It's not really like action music.
Yeah.
But that is perfect.
Yeah.
and they're like, no, we need aha.
What were they thinking? It was like, we need to make you feel like you're in an 80s arcade by playing 80s music. Like, but why?
I don't know. It's the needle drops in the movie are one of the things that I find to be like emblematic of like it being like an insulting collection of references. That's like, it's condescending in some ways, and it's like, we're just gonna do the safest thing that we know you'll like.
Yeah.
Instead of celebrating like Donkey Kong Country, like, come on, man.
Dude, that would have been sweet, man. Well, we can. Well, I'll make this fan cut.
Yeah, and I've seen fan cuts of this already on Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, check it out. Driving Me Bananas. It's a great little piece of music. Matt, several months ago, I posited the new Bomberman new console theory. The theory roughly states that any new hardware launch from Nintendo includes one Bomberman game in some small way to pad out a thin slate of launch games. This isn't. I gotta say, this theory isn't true in the strictest sense of the word, but Konami has now provided us with another data point that we can use to either prove or disprove my theory. Super Bomberman R2 the game which the reveal of which prompted this original rant from me, now apparently has a release date of September 14th, 2023. And that date comes directly from the Japanese eShop. It is not something that Konami has like put out in a press release or anything.
Right.
What do we think? What are the odds that there's new Nintendo hardware coming in September? Pretty low.
I think it's pretty slim.
Yeah.
I mean, especially like that's coming off the heels of a pretty hot summer for Nintendo.
Totally.
You know, they're gonna be pushing hardware of regular Nintendo and OLEDs for the Tears of the Kingdom
And Pikmin. Yeah.
and Pikmin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It doesn't feel like, you know, maybe I would feel more like it would be more of maybe an announce. No, not even that.
Yeah.
Not even that.
I mean, I still sort of jokingly for a while I've been saying no new Switch until 2025.
Yeah.
But that's feeling like a more and more realistic date as
feel
the
that.
months drag on.
We're not getting the Pro, dude.
No.
We're not getting a Pro.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, we're just gonna get a Switch 2, I think, like or a Super Switch,
Or Switch
Super
Advance.
Nintendo Switch. Oh, Switch Advance is good.
Right? Isn't that
Yeah,
good?
I like that. But I don't think we're getting it soon, man. I think, but it's kind of crazy how long the lifespan of the Switch has already been.
Yeah.
It makes me want to like. It's kind of freaky.
It's
Patrick,
weird.
This went fast.
Well, yes. I mean, that's another existential question.
Oh no! Oh no!
But yeah, it does feel like it's gone fast, and it does feel like there's no end in sight, and like no reason to.
They're still selling.
They're still
hardware.
selling. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're still putting out like exciting games for it. You know.
Yeah.
You know, maybe after Tears of the Kingdom comes out and we see Metroid Prime 4 and that comes out.
I think we need one more Mario title before it goes on. I think we need an Odyssey 2 or Galaxy 3 coming out.
Oh man, a Galaxy 3.
Yeah.
Or an Odyssey 2. I mean, they're both perfect pitches. On Friday, Microsoft removed the ability from the Xbox family of consoles to run emulators while in the retail mode. Emulators can still be run on developer mode, which is a paid feature on Xbox. Potential reasons for the emulator lockdown caused a bit of a stir over the weekend, people trying to figure out why exactly emulators have been pulled off Xbox. And the reason that it's relevant to Nintendo podcast here is one of these theories. But the origin of the theory here, chain of custody is a little bizarre. So let's just keep that in mind as we discuss. A Twitter user who identifies herself as an employee with Microsoft Azure named Ilana McKenna said that she got an email from a friend on the Xbox QA team that implied that Nintendo is to blame. From this email, quote, "To answer your questions, the primary reason for the ban is related to legal issues with Nintendo. While emulating itself is not illegal, it can be used to play games from consoles that are still under copyright protection without permission, which can create issues with Nintendo and its affiliates." So sort of throwing Nintendo under the bus there to be like, we've outlawed emulation on the Xbox because people were playing Nintendo games with it. And Nintendo didn't like that. But by Sunday morning, Microsoft had released its official statement, quote, "The information currently circulating on Twitter is not accurate. Our actions are based on a longstanding policy on content distributed to the store to ensure alignment with our Microsoft Store policies. Per 10.13.10, products that emulate a game system or game platform are not allowed on any device family." So it is Microsoft can just be like, we have this policy, but also like, why do they have that policy?
Yeah.
Could it be from legal issues with Nintendo?
I kind of think it is. This feels very corporate, very like, hide it under like, oh, this is always the case kind of a thing. I wonder if Ayana still has a job, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it
seems like she
I wouldn't
that's
share that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Yeah. I don't know.
It seems like you're breaking NDA if nothing else,
like it, yeah.
Especially if Microsoft then has to go and like put out a public statement,
right,
knocking it down.
But I think Ayana was. I sided with Ayana. I think she's right.
she might be right. I mean, it feels true if nothing else.
Yeah, they know they've never liked the emulation stuff, man.
Right.
They want because like one of their big marketing ploys is to have you keep rebuying their games, right? Like
or subscribing to their service. Yeah,
exactly, exactly. So I think that's accurate.
I think that's probably right, but again, sort of a weird chain of custody there.
Yeah.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection has now sold over 1 million copies from Konami and Digital Eclipse's little press release thing about it. 350 million foot soldiers have been defeated, 6 million pizzas have been eaten, 2 million of Shredder's plans have been shredded, and 1 million times the turtles have saved their friends. First of all, what do you think is the cause for the disparity between 2 million Shredder's plans shredded and 1 million times the turtles saved their friends? Doesn't sound like those would be the same thing.
You would think so. Yeah, I don't understand. Did they like stop playing the game?
I don't know. Or is like rescuing turtles? Maybe Shredder's not in all of them.
Well, didn't you have to? Oh, is Shredder not in all of them?
I don't.
He's not.
I don't know. He's in most of them.
Yeah. Well, I guess.
Are you always rescuing your friends? I guess that could be the difference.
I don't think you are in all. I don't think you are.
The point is, I don't totally know what those two numbers mean.
I don't get that. That's confusing. I do like this little stat breakdown, though. I think that's fun.
Yeah, I think it's cute.
Yeah.
So hopefully this is a good sign for Konami and Digital Eclipse and leads to more excellent collections, just like we were talking about with the show having this like very presentational, historical, educational thing in there.
We'll probably get a new game with the release of Mutant Mayhem. Mutant Mayhem.
Oh yeah, I hadn't really thought of that.
Like a 4-person brawler again.
That'd be so good.
Yeah.
Additionally, the Cowabunga collection added online multiplayer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, the Manhattan Project, and some additional art for the Turtles layer. Really cool that they're adding the online support for Manhattan Project. That's a great game. One of the it is the best of the NES games that's on that collection, and it is not one that had that online support before, and now it does.
That's one that you go on the streets and then you go in like the sewers too. It's like there's like an overworld map.
No, so that's the original. That's
Gotcha.
Ninja Turtles 1, and then 2 is the arcade game, and 3 is like basically a sequel to the arcade game, but just on NES. So it took all of the like fun beat 'em up elements of the arcade game and like refined them. So
yeah,
a lot of what you end up seeing it's like the perfect halfway point between the arcade game and Turtles in Time.
Yeah, that's
and
sweet.
I love it, and would love to play it with anyone. And finally, Matt, the Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters, your precious JRPGs,
let's go.
finally have a release date on consoles, and it's soon. The games can be purchased individually or in a bundle on April 19th. I can see you shaking your head already. Tell me what you're feeling.
It's too much. I have too many JRPGs. This is the 19th. I thought, isn't the same day that Legacy's coming out? Of Mega Man? I'm just saying.
No, Legacy. No, that's the 14th. That's this week.
Still, it's too many.
It's a lot.
I'm excited though. There's a lot, like, because we're gonna get that slump.
Yeah,
we'll always get like that weird slump.
Right.
Time to play some JRPGs.
Time to play some JRPGs. And look, you can have one of those going in the background at all times.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Just as a reminder, this is Final Fantasies 1 through 6. They all have these pixel remasters. It's available on Switch and PS4. If you buy the bundle, it's $75. So that's a lot. It's 6 games, but it's a lot. And you do end up saving money if you do it that way.
Right.
But still, $75 is a lot. There are new console features, which I believe were just revealed along with the release date here. But you can choose between the default font, which is not good, or a new pixel font, which looks pretty good.
Yeah.
You can change the soundtracks from original to the rearranged. You can turn off random encounters, and you can turn on a 4x experience boost if you want to play them that way.
I'm a big fan of these kind of customizations because they've been doing this for years now, right? Like they did it with like the Mana series and stuff like that, and it's
right. Well, and the modern releases of like 7, 8, and 9, have that too, and like speed up features on them too,
which is great. Like, I like that kind of like that's going to actually encourage people to play these kind of library games that they're not going to play just normally now. They're too
slow. They've got that like grind built into them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if the 4x experience boost. I wonder if that also applies to like the games that have like job systems where it's like job points or like magic points in Final Fantasy VI with like the Esper system. Like, is it everything that you earn from fights? Is that multiplied by 4 or just experience points?
I'm not sure.
Because
Probably I feel like just experience, right?
then I'm still gonna have to grind.
Yeah, you're still gonna have to grind.
You're still gonna have to grind because you put, the Phoenix on someone, and sure, it's fire 3 times 3 and life 2 times 1, but like that's still gonna take a super long time.
Yeah.
I can't remember if those are the actual multipliers or not, but
I believed it.
well, okay, good. Then let's pretend that it was real.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, let's get out of the news. That is going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Matt Acevedo, thank you so much
Thanks
for joining me.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. I love hanging out with you. I love hanging out with Mark. It's always a good time with you guys.
Where can people find you online?
You can find me on socials all over at the Matt Acevedo, and check out Ventum, Mass Effect Ventum.
And you join the Discord. You know how to email us to get an invitation in there. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Matt Acevedo, this is Patrick Eller saying thank you for listening.